When you're a feudal lord, you're only slightly subject to the continuous division and regulation imposed by dependence on others. But once you become heavily dependent on others, such as our elites in the media, you have to develop a strict and stable superego, a conscience through which compulsions stemming from others or your own internal drives are restrained. So if you move from your own castle to the court, right, your value now is not in your wealth, it's not in your achievements, it's not in the abilities that you might possess. Your value rests in the favor that you enjoy with the king, the influence that you have with other powerful people, and your part in the play of courtly cliques. And this is true today, right? What is the ultimate source of power? It is your social position. So the modern is no longer a free man. He's no longer the master of his own castle. He now lives at court. He serves at court. He lives surrounded by people. He must behave towards each of them in exact accordance with their rank and his own rank. He must learn to continually adjust his language, his gestures to the different ranks and standing of the people at court, to measure his language exactly and to control his eyes exactly. This is wokeism. There are certain groups that are off limits to public criticism. And you move to court, you develop this new self-discipline. You move to university. If you're going to succeed at university, you must master this new self-discipline. You must develop incomparably stronger reserve than those who can live independently. So power, as we move through the 17th, 18th, 19th century into the 21st century, power becomes less and less a matter of brute physical force and more something that is exercised through words and through surveillance. Individuals are more socially vulnerable than ever before. The more socially vulnerable you feel, the more vulnerable you feel, the more careful you're going to be with your words and actions, right? And when you have this radical heightening of the day-to-day coercion that people can exert on each other, right? The demands for good behavior are raised more emphatically, and you learn to take on the culture of careful critical discourse. You have to moderate your spontaneous emotions. You have to extend your mental space beyond the past and the future into what's going on with the people around you. You have to try to connect events to cause and effect, right? You have to develop a strict, continuous, uniform mode of controlling your impulses, a discipline that was once exclusive to monks and courtiers. So modernity is the democratization of courtly civility and the secularization of monkish self-discipline. So we have behavioral norms originally used to tame an unruly military aristocracy through court service and estate management, but then deployed over the centuries to tame the general population. And religion becomes conscripted, so evangelical Christianity in particular becomes conscripted to serve the new industrial capitalism by disciplining its adherents. And you get increasing theological justification for ever increasing amounts of self-discipline with words and actions. You get active state intervention, trying to create a rationalized, disciplined, professionalized mode of life into the population. You get more and more of these ordering impulses, trying to create a stable society, a hygienic society, a safe society, by training people to restrain their drives. So the independent knight of old, he felt no need to banish coarseness and vulgarity from his life. But when you live at court, and we all now live at court, or most of us do, right? We are now part of a stock exchange, which our value is being continually assessed and reassessed. And so you can't afford the old freedoms of old, right? Gone are the days in which one could leap from the most exuberant pleasure to the deepest despondency on the basis of slight impressions, right? What matters now are others' impressions, not one's own. The foremost task becomes impression management, all right? The more prestigious your position, the more disciplined you have to be with impression management.